What's going on, y'all? 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NFL, talking more fantasy football for you guys, finishing up my series of top 5 sleepers at every position, and we're talking tight ends today. Okay, so here to give you guys my top 5 tight end sleepers, and fair warning, I have some very deep sleepers. Okay, we're not talking about, all of the common names people know, the Jimmy Grahams and stuff, and stuff like that. It is very deep sleepers that you may not even have heard of, but should keep an eye on as this fantasy season approaches. So without much else left to say, let's get started. Okay, I've been mentioning this guy all season for you guys, so I'm going to get him out of the way first. We're starting with Jack Doyle of the Indianapolis Colts. I love Jack Doyle. Yes, I know Erik Swoope is still there as a tight end too, but Jack Doyle is firmly entrenched in Indy as the tight end number 1, and he had a breakout season last year, and I expect him to even have a bigger season this year. Last year had 59 catches for 584 yards and 5 touchdowns. I expect him to easily be in the 700 to 800 yards range, maybe even 900, with 8 to 9 touchdowns. The best part about Jack Doyle is that he is going to prosper regardless of Andrew Luck's health. And you can't say that about every Indianapolis pass catcher, okay? And yes, Andrew Luck having him would help, okay? But Jack Doyle is still going to be doing well with Scott Tolzien because he'll just do dump-off passes to Jack Doyle in the middle of the field. And this is a big guy over here, okay? I believe I have his dimensions here at 6'6", 262. He is a can't-miss target for whoever is throwing the football for the Indianapolis Colts. So look to target Jack Doyle. You can get him in your late rounds, okay? Moving on to number 2. And you might think he's not that much of a sleeper because people have heard of him now, and he's pretty well known. It's talking about Zach Ertz, the sleeper of the Philadelphia Eagles. And Zach Ertz had a pretty good season last year, 78 catches for 816 yards and 4 touchdowns. But I think he is going to be even more impressive this season. I see 1,000+ yards for Zach Ertz, 85 to 90 catches for him, and about 6 to 7 touchdowns as well. The thing with Zach Ertz is he's going a lot lower than he should be, folks. You can get him in the 9th, 10th round, okay? And that's ridiculous for Zach Ertz. And the thing is, for me, usually I treat tight end like QB. If I don't get the top QBs or top tight ends early, I'm waiting all the way until the last couple rounds to get him. Now, Zach Ertz, you can't get him that low, but you can still get him at a very good bargain. And I think he's going to be a huge weapon for Carson Wentz. So love Zach Ertz as a sleeper this season. At number 3, Austin Hooper. Yes, that's right. Austin Hooper, the second-year tight end of the Atlanta Falcons. He had a couple good moments sprinkled in there last season, but overall has had a very okay rookie season. I mean, 19 catches for 271 yards and 3 touchdowns. The main problem with Austin Hooper is not his talent. Oh, absolutely not. It's just that Atlanta is loaded, okay? And last year, and even this year, they still have Julio Jones. They still have Mohamed Sanu. They have Taylor Gabriel. They had Jacob Tamme last year, but now they have Hooper starting. And I believe now is the time for Austin Hooper to break out. I think he can easily get 500 to 600 yards and 6 to 7 touchdowns. Very athletic tight end that I think now Steve Sarkisian, the new OC, is going to make use of and find a way to get him the football. Guys, Austin Hooper is athletic. I think Matt Ryan is going to look for him more in the middle of the field. I'm not saying he's the next Tony Gonzalez, but you see, Atlanta is one of the few teams that uses the tight end position still effectively, and I love that for Austin Hooper. He's a guy I believe you can get very late as well. I don't even know if he's getting drafted in every draft. It's to that point with Hooper, but I think by midseason he is going to be locked in, and you can get him at a tight end 1 type of position where he can play and be that starting tight end for you. I still see some inconsistencies with Hooper, but overall, love his outlook. Think he's going to have a breakout season. Let's move on to number 4. I have Vance McDonald. Yes, I told you I was going deep sleeper, and I did not move off of that. Vance McDonald got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he was not a sleeper for me before, but he is now. The Steelers throw the football. And the thing with Vance McDonald was he was on the 49ers last year, and he had God knows who throwing him the football, and he was still able to have 24 catches, 391 yards, 4 touchdowns, with Colin Kaepernick, and I'm forgetting whose name threw him the football. Blaine Gabbert. Yes, that's right. Blaine Gabbert threw him the football last year. So now you have Brian Hoyer, who is decent. Brian Hoyer was decent last season. He's not horrible. And Matt Barkley had a good number of games at the end of last season. Even still, those guys are gone now. You got Big Ben throwing him the football, okay? You got Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to easily surpass Jesse James on the depth chart. And I know they have AB. I know they still have Sammy Coates. They still got Le'Veon Bell. They still have a bunch. Martavius Bryant is coming back this season as well. So they've got a lot of pass catchers, but Vance McDonald's a big target for Big Ben. I think he's going to be a good red zone threat. I see him getting 500 to 600 yards, 7 to 8 touchdowns this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you remember, Ladarius Green last year was supposed to be that breakout tight end star. He just had concussion problems. But if Vance McDonald stays healthy, love him as a deep sleeper. He's probably not even getting drafted, folks. So love Vance McDonald. And moving on to number 5, the guy that Vance McDonald is getting replaced by, George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. This is a 5th round pick out of Iowa, and he is the reason why the 49ers traded Vance McDonald, because they loved what they've seen from this kid so far. He is already projected to be the starting tight end. He has been very impressive in the preseason, and like I said, you have Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley throwing you the football, so they're not world beaters over here. I think they're going to be looking his way a lot. I like George Kittle. I think he's going to be, after Pierre Garçon, the highest yardage guy on this team in terms of like putting up the numbers. I can see him as well putting up like 400 to 500 yards, maybe even more than that, and maybe like 4 to 6 touchdowns for George Kittle. But he is very impressive in a position that is scarce in the NFL. So look out for George Kittle. I know for a fact he's not getting drafted. A lot of people don't even know this kid's name, but he is going to be good. Keep a lookout for him. So there you have it, folks. Those are my top 5 sleeper tight ends. And yes, I went deep sleeper here. If you guys like this video, let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Twitter. Link down below for that. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.